Who is number 1 richest person in the world? No. 1 richest man in the world is Jeff Bezos. Who is Jeff Bezos? Jeffrey Preston Bezos, born January 12, 1964. An American internet entrepreneur, industrialist, media proprietor, and investor. He is best known as the founder, CEO, and president of the multinational technology company Amazon, the first centibillionaire on the Forbes Wealth Index. Bezos has been the world's richest person since 2017, and was named the richest man in modern history, after his net worth increased to $150 billion in July 2018. According to Forbes, Bezos is the first person in history to have a net worth exceeding $200 billion. Born in Albuquerque and raised in Houston and later Miami, Bezos graduated from Princeton University in 1986. Bezos holds a degree in electrical engineering and in computer science. He worked on Wall Street in a variety of related fields. From 1986 to early 1994, Bezos founded Amazon in late 1994 on a cross-country road trip from New York City to Seattle. The company began as an online bookstore, and has since expanded to a wide variety of other e-commerce products and services, including video and audio streaming, cloud computing, and AI. It is currently the world's largest online sales company, the largest internet company by revenue, and the world's largest provider of virtual assistants and cloud infrastructure services through its Amazon Web Services branch. Bezos founded the aerospace manufacturer and suborbital spaceflight services company Blue Origin in 2000. Blue Origin's New Shepard vehicle reached space in 2015, and afterwards successfully landed back on Earth. The company has upcoming plans to begin commercial suborbital human spaceflight. He also purchased the major American newspaper Washington Post in 2013 for $250 million, and manages many other investments through his Bezos Expeditions venture capital firm. Early life. Bezos was born Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on January 12, 1964. The son of Jacqueline, née Gies, and Ted Jorgensen. At the time of his birth, his mother was a 17-year-old high school student, and his father was a bike shop owner. After his parents divorced, his mother married Cuban immigrant Miguel Mike Bezos in April 1968. Shortly after the wedding, Mike adopted 4-year-old Jorgensen, whose surname was then changed to Bezos. The family moved to Houston, Texas, where Mike worked as an engineer for Exxon after he received a degree from the University of New Mexico. After Bezos graduated from Princeton University in 1986, he was offered jobs at Intel Bell Labs and Anderson Consulting, among others. He first worked at Fatal, a fintech telecommunications startup, where he was tasked with building a network for international trade. Bezos was promoted to head of development and the director of the customer service thereafter. He transitioned into the banking industry when he became a product manager at Bankers Trust. He worked there from 1988 to 1990. He then joined D.E. Shaw & Co., a newly founded hedge fund with a strong emphasis on mathematical modeling, in 1990 and worked there until 1994. Bezos became D.E. Shaw's fourth senior vice president at the age of 30. In late 1993, Bezos decided to establish an online bookstore. He left his job at D.E. Shaw and founded Amazon in his garage on July 5, 1994, after writing its business plan on a cross-country drive from New York City to Seattle. Bezos initially named his new company Cadabra but later changed the name to Amazon after the Amazon River in South America, and also because the name begins with the letter A, which is at the beginning of the alphabet. He accepted an estimated $300,000 from his parents and invested in Amazon in 1998. Bezos diversified into the online sale of music and video, and by the end of the year, he had expanded the company's products to include a variety of other consumer goods. Bezos used the $54 million raised during the company's 1997 equity offering to finance the aggressive acquisition of smaller competitors. In May 2016, Bezos sold slightly more than 1 million shares of his holdings in the company for $671 million, the largest sum he had ever raised from selling some of his Amazon stock in March 2018. Bezos dispatched Amit Agarwal, Amazon's global senior vice president, to India with $5.5 billion to localize operations throughout the company's supply chain routes. Bezos used what he called a regret minimization framework while he worked at D.E. Shaw and again during the early years of Amazon. He described this life philosophy by stating, "When I'm 80, am I going to regret leaving Wall Street? No. Will I regret missing the beginning of the Internet? Yes." During the 1990s and early 2000s at Amazon, he was characterized as trying to quantify all aspects of running the company, often listing employees on spreadsheets, and basing executive decisions on data. To push Amazon forward, Bezos developed the mantra, "Get big fast," establishing the company's need to scale its operations to produce market dominance. He favored diverting Amazon profits back into the company in lieu of allocating it amongst shareholders in the form of dividends. Bezos became the richest man in modern history in 2018 when his personal fortune hit $150 billion. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is the world's wealthiest person for the third year in a row, worth $200 billion. Jeff Bezos is now worth more than $200 billion according to Annie Palmer, published Wednesday, August 26, 2206 to 12 p.m. EDT. Jeff Bezos' net worth just crossed the $200 billion mark. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Amazon has been one of the biggest beneficiaries of the coronavirus pandemic, as consumers turn to online retailers for essential goods. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos on Wednesday saw his net worth soar above $202 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, making him the first person to cross the $200 billion thresholds. He's now $78 billion richer than Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, who stands at number 2. The Amazon founder's personal wealth, which is mostly in Amazon stock, has skyrocketed in recent years along with the company's share price. Bezos became the world's richest man in recent history in 2018 when his personal wealth climbed above $150 billion. He first became the richest man in the world in 2017. The coronavirus pandemic has helped fuel that growth, as consumers turn to online retailers for necessities like masks and hand sanitizer, as well as ordering groceries. This surge in demand was behind Amazon's blowout second quarter results, when revenue topped $88.9 billion, and it reported better than expected profits despite spending billions of dollars on pandemic-related investments. Throughout the 21st century, wealth in America has become increasingly concentrated at the top. The bottom half of Americans in terms of wealth were worth a combined $255 billion in 2016, according to the Institute for Policy Studies. In 2020, the two richest Americans, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, were worth more than $285 billion. There are many examples of the nation's extremely wealthy becoming a significant part of an area's identity. While not every state was the childhood home of one of the nation's billionaires, every state has produced at least one person worth hundreds of millions of dollars. To determine the richest person of all time from every state, 24/7 Wall Street reviewed sources such as the Forbes Real-Time Billionaires list and historical lists of the wealthiest Americans of all time. Those on this list who are alive were ranked on their current net worth as of August 2020, while the deceased were ranked on their net worth at the height of their wealth, adjusted for inflation. When estimates for net worth were not adjusted for inflation, we used the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index inflation adjustment calculator. We considered the state where the individuals spent the majority of their childhood to be their state of origin. When information about where an individual spent his or her childhood was not available, birthplaces were used. Many of the people on this list took advantage of the unique conditions provided by their home state to become titans of an industry. Some relied on favorable conditions to start a business, while others found a large labor pool of quality employees to help their company grow, or were able to take advantage of natural resources in their state, like coal or oil, to make their fortune. The end. Thanks so much MGA Lalabs Co. Mega shout out to Team iBags, Team Journey, Team Walang Atrasan, Maraming Salamat Po. God bless.